All right, this is Rick Armstrong. You've clicked into my market report. This is to give you an idea of what's going on in the Jackson Hole market today, right now. We're featuring a lot of closed properties that range from a $355,000 one-bedroom, one-bath condo in East Jackson. There's also a 16-acre property in Wilson that closed for $3,050,000. The reason I'm featuring closed properties is I think they're relevant to what's going on in the market, and they'll help inform you of what the values are. Here we are, we're going up to 755 East Hanson, the Hanson Street Apartments. This thing was sold for $355,000. They were asking $365,000. It's 591 square feet, built in 1974. Really good example of, the low end of Jackson Hole. There you go, that's it. It's, beautiful views from the outside, and I believe it was somewhat remodeled on the inside. All right, now we're cruising down Simpson Street. There's been a couple properties that have closed here in the last couple weeks. We've got this 710 East Simpson right here. It was a smaller house. It was 1,300 square feet on 0.15 acres. It was sold at $810,000. They were asking $850,000 for it. So it gives you an idea of what they're going for. Beautiful lawn, well maintained, but an older house. And just 2 doors down, you have this brand new property that is 680 East Simpson, and it is much larger, 3,310 square feet on 0.17 acres. It was gorgeous inside and out. It had 2 fireplaces, granite countertops, travertine tile, custom sound. It sold for $1,575,000. They were asking $1,675,000. It was on the market for about 6 months. Beautiful house, really good to see that side by side with that other one. All right, right now we're going by 360 East Gill. It's a property on 3.5 lots over in the Gill Addition, one of the most attractive areas to own a property in Jackson. Though the homes are pretty dated and old, this property was comprised of 0.42 acres. The house was 3,000 square foot, built in 1959. They were asking $3,150,000 for it, and it sold for $2,850,000, basically because it was on 3 lots. Okay, so here we are. We're coming onto the town square. We're headed west towards the town square. Just an idea of what the commercial property is leasing for on the town square, which is considered the highest premium property in Jackson. Millions of people come through this square in the summer. Town square is right there. This used to be the Trailside Galleries. Now it's Earth and Vine. They were asking $65 a square foot for that retail property, which is the highest price commanded so far in Jackson for commercial lease. We're not sure what they got, but the estimates were $55 a square foot, which is still a lot of money for a 6,600 square foot building. All right, so we're turning off of Broadway, going right towards Teton Village and Wilson on Highway 22. We're gonna look at a commercial property on the right here. It was formerly Choice Meats and a gas station. It was offered for sale at $3.4 million. And it closed at $2.8 million. And here it is. It was 1.1 acres. I'm going to just do a quick drive by. It looks like Thrifty Car Rentals bought it. So 1.1 acre commercial, right at almost at the T of 89 and 22, and it closed for $2.8 million. One of the most important things to remember about Jackson Hole is, when you're driving these corridors, there's a few cars and so on, but this is a protected piece of land. This is a protected piece of land. You can pretty much count on what you see is what you get. You won't ever see condominiums there. You won't ever see houses there. You're going to see these beautiful open vistas, and really that's where the value of Jackson Hole lies. You can say that the textbook on conservation was written in Jackson Hole. It's a special place, and it has been heavily protected. And that protection is what drives the prices in Jackson Hole to such a high level. So, maybe it falls under what you get what you pay for. I know that it is a nice thing owning a property here with the security that it's always going to be somewhat like it is today. You know, houses and stuff may be torn down and buildings may go up, but for the most part, the majority of the land is already developed and it's going to stay somewhat like it is. Okay, so here we are. We just turned off of Highway 22 to the north, took a right. Now we're going in front of the Wilson School, which is where my daughter will be going to school next year. Amazing little schoolhouse. I think it's a wonderful example of great architecture, function. It's beautiful. Kind of one of the charms to Wilson is that it's kept its character. Even though that's a modern building, it still has the look of old heritage building. On the left here, we have a property that just came on the market last week. It is listed at 1,795. It's on a very small lot, and it's not that big a house. I think it's a big price for that property. It's approximately 3 bedrooms, 4 baths, remodeled last year. Right-hand side is a house that I built and sold 3 years ago. I sold it for $985,000. It resold this year for $1,675,000. So here we are crossing Fish Creek. Beautiful little area, and this is called Fish Creek Road. Absolutely one of the most pristine places in the valley. Definitely coveted properties from Wilson North. Wilson is a great little enclave, you know, has everything you need with the grocery store, the hardware store, the bakery, the coffee shop. We're going to go up here to this subdivision, the Phillips Ridge subdivision. Very, kind of a good example of how a lot of things are done in Jackson. They're done quietly, non-ostentatious. People are somewhat reserved with their properties. You don't necessarily see the biggest houses right next to the road, and it's not flashy. These properties are all big acreages. Here we are turning on Phillips Ridge Road. So here we are, we're coming up on this property. This was 15.86 acres. It was on the market very short period of time they listed it at 3.2 and it closed at $3,050,000. It was on the market for 3 days. So that shows you that the demand is still here on properties. We went faster than I would expect, but kind of a great example of what the Jackson Hole market is doing. It is holding up, and while the national market is faltering, our market seems to be pushing forward and even strengthening. So here we are cruising on what we call the Wilson Loop. There's this 3-block loop in downtown Wilson. There's a new subdivision going in here. There's some there's some affordable housing going in, some teachers housing, and some pre-market lots. Pricing on those is not available yet. We're working on it. This house was on the market at $1,875, did not sell. It was on the market for 6 months. On the left here, we have a very small cabin. It's about 600 square feet, and it is on the market for $785,000. On the right up here, this was just listed. It's a Wilson bungalow, brand new in 2006. They're asking $1,695 for it. And over here on the left, there's 2 old cabins, historic cabins, I guess you could call them, in need of some repair. There is some building envelope left on it, and they're asking $985 for that. So if you want to know more information about these or any other properties, any properties that are currently listed, please call, email us. We'd love to help you out.